Namaste. Greetings, kindred spirits, galactic guides, and magical wanderers. Well, I wanted to make this introductory video. Well, really, it's just a recording right now because it's going to be faceless for the time being. And I felt that would be appropriate because of the fact that I want people to connect more to the message than I do particularly to the way I look or anything like that right now. Plus, this would be able to record a couple messages more often instead of me trying to get the camera together, the place looking immaculate, you get the gist. I don't have a studio per se yet, so plus what I'm trying to do here, let me give a little better explanation. Why I'm calling this the threshold of sage anyway, is that not just like a threshold where like you're on the brink of something, but the threshold is like where you walk into a door in that area of like you're about to step into something that is about transformation, that is about walking into a new reality at the quantum aspect of yourself that is something that I wanted to explore more because of the downloads, because of the messages, the nudges you get, and the different things that have prompted me to want to do certain things that I have not before. And not that it wasn't my purpose not to do them, but that I just hadn't reached the messaging or exactly what it was I wanted to teach or go over. And a lot of the metaphysical aspects of things that I have been experiencing and dealing with, I wanted to delve into because, when you are learning about something, the best thing to do to learn even more about it is to teach it, right? So I think that's my journey here, is to get into these different things. So I'm going to have some different segments as well. And, going over the tarot, having some readings into channeling, higher self, intuitive things that are, things that want to come through. In particular, I do want to focus this on the time that we're in. There's a lot of unprecedented changes going on that can bring about a lot of disruptions in our daily world and not such great interruptions. And so this is going to be a medium of bringing clarity into those parts of things that we feel that are, a little unstable maybe, but it's really not the right word. It's more like a progression of intensity, and an intensity that we have not experienced before. And that aspect, I feel like, needs to be talked about a bit more than it is right now. So I'm kind of interested to get feedback too about how this is coming through. So please do tell me in the comments if this is something that you also think about is needed in this time, really. And I feel like the voice of truth coming forth and having this a placeholder for where things are safe to talk about, in essence, is what I'm trying to get through too. A valuable insight is an aspect of human design that is not just about the chart of when you're born and your sun and the city and different things that are about uniquely you, but so those are the general topics here. And I wanted to pull a card here. Let me get the cards actually. By the way, I'm having some coffee. I had a hazelnut dark roast. It was really good. Let's see here. I know the cards are so interesting to me because it's this way of having an interpretation right at your fingertips. And more so about the energy when things come through is always different, right? It's never the same from 1 minute to the next. So it's always fascinating to me how these things come through. So let's see here what we got. Okay. I'm just going to pull 5 cards. And the bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Wands. So the first card that we pulled, 7 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, 6 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. So this is so fitting. I can't even. So this is feeling like standing at a threshold. All right, so in this spread, what it says to me is quite a bit, but we're going to go through this one by one. And it's almost like there's planting the seeds, tending the seeds of something, seeing a bit of insight, a glimpse into something, and then finally you're like, yeah, I have confidence to do this. I have what it takes, and I'm going to learn along the way. I'm just going to do it now. Does that make sense? I know that I think about a job you take or anything like that. But, all right, so let's get into this a bit more. So it feels like, when we have the 7 of Pentacles, we've been tending something like a baby, watering something, watching something grow. And then we have here the Queen of Swords, and obviously she's sharp. She's something that's going to bring you clarity. She's going to help you cut away the fat, if you will, and make the main thing, right? Then you have the 6 of Swords here, letting go of old currents. This is also, too, an interesting card about transition, release, and more so about like when you're moving into a part of life of more peacefulness in general, but calmer waters, right? And there's also an element here of having to leave behind what is no longer serving you. And that can be either, mentally, where you have hang-ups, or even energetically, where you don't feel like you align anymore at certain places, certain people, or having certain things. 6 of Swords is a real, good transition place, because it's that thing of going from one to the next, right? Then we have here the 8 of Pentacles, and it's kind of like now you're able to refine the wheel, refine your giftedness. I don't know, I feel like gift is not a word I like, but only because when you say gifted, it sounds like someone who has a mental or learning disability. never liked. Anyhow, let's get past that. But for what it is, Eight of Pentacles is a commitment to your own mastery, where you say, I know who I am. I'm going to be this person. I need to be authentically me at this point. And it's also a reminder that your consistent refinement, whether if it's spiritual or practical, that builds your future structure. That's the foundation of what you're putting together. Everything is going to go from that place. So it's a really, really imperative thing to get right? You don't want to mess up the foundation of anything, for that matter. And here, the last card is the Queen of Wands. I love this card. I want to embody this energy where you're just stepping into your visible power. Like you are the emanation of exactly what it is that you have always envisioned about yourself. And being able to be that, show up as that in the world. When you have radiant confidence, magnetic presence, and your creativity is just on point. So it's like being called to lead with both your charisma and being heart-centered, but never being able to shrink back. You're not going to compromise on your light. Needing to be authentically your own vessel, your own being. So the bottom of the deck here is also the Three of Wands. And I feel like this is kind of saying a little bit of like the horizon of all of this is that all things are opening up to you. That you can expect expansion that matches the work that you're going to invest. Expansion, foresight, opportunities are on your horizon. So it's like the anchor here of this spread. Because you've done the planting, you're making the cuts and doing those transitions with the shadow work and everything that needs to be done. And now you're preparing for the next wave of growth, or the next phase in life, let's say, one that carries you farther than before. But I would say the true you. Yeah, that's really what this is about in general. Me doing all of this is helping others find the true person that they are being. Our being is not in a physical body, right? Our beingness is never going to end. Our energy, our consciousness, we are ever expanding, ever exploring, always going to go to do new places, and having new experiences that I expect are going to get better and better. So I hope that you like this a lot. I have liked spending this time with you. It went by really fast, right? I would imagine this would be about how long these will be on a general basis, but maybe some will be longer depending on how much I want to get into some other aspects of things. Yeah, this was kind of off the cuff, to be honest, but it worked out quite well. I feel like I got all that I wanted to get in, all I wanted to say. So thank you for being here. And with that, namaste. Have a good one.